especially since the meta has changed and since he's nerfed.
I really like the changes because it's changing things up, and especially with these two picks, two bans, it allows sides to pick and then try and counter each other's, not just going for your typical, you pick Magnus, I pick, Lina, Shadow Demon, and then you get two generic picks straight after that. With the two bans and two picks coming out, you see more countering to each side, which does allow more varied lineups, which is more fun to see.
I agree. It certainly will mix things up a bit, at least for a while. I felt like with the old ban and pick phases, it was pretty much, you'd see most of the heroes, or pretty much the same heroes, and there was a few teams who'd mix up a little bit because they have signature heroes on certain players, but generally it was pretty much, at least the first banning and picking phase was pretty standard every game.
And we do see the Rubik being picked up on that Noxious Gaming. So he's got a lot of great skills he can steal already from BoysBoys. He's got that ship, X-Master Spot, Torrent, their fantastic abilities, even the Disruption, and basically anything Shadow Demon brings onto the table. So the Rubik will be having fantastic abilities to be able to pick up so far into this game. The Batrider will be seeing if he decides to go for that jungle role or go into that mid. So Noxious Gaming still have their lineups pretty hidden under their belt at the moment. With the Shadow Demon, you do expect usually a Lina or a Leshrac being picked up shortly after, and Noxious Gaming can't ban out all the heroes that combo with Shadow Demon because they already have a Conquer. So that's going to be a very vicious trial lane if they do want to run the Shadow Demon Conquer and their third stunning hero.
I agree that Leshrac and Lina are very common pickups with this Shadow Demon. Certainly the two heroes, Lina and Leshrac, they also provide different sort of styles as well. Leshrac can also push towers quite early with that Diabolic Edict, whereas Lina brings more burst damage, so easier to bring down heroes. But I'm quite interested to see what they pick up and what these bans will be as well.
We do now see the Darkseer and the Juggernaut and Lifesteal bans being brought out so far. So Noxious Gaming, they're trying to reduce a little bit of that team fight potential that BoysBoys can bring to that table with that Darkseer. Could possibly see maybe a Leshrac being banned out, following this up, trying to slow down any potential pushing on BoysBoys or any combination. We'll see how they do want to ban out.
I agree. The Darkseer ban I actually quite like here, especially with that Conqueror on the other side. And for BoysBoys, their two bans aren't too surprising either. Noxious Gaming haven't really picked up a carry, and there is the Leshrac.
So yeah, BoysBoys will probably be looking at picking up a Lina, or if they still want to go for this push style, you can always pick up that Gyrocopter. I mean, not Gyrocopter, the Jakiro. However, they will pick up that Clockwork for that offlane position, which is always a strong pickup. Those cogs are a detriment to anyone. You can't get close to them, mana burns you, push you away, and even being able to hold those creeps in as they walk into the lane will give you map position at least for the first creep wave, and they'll get you level 2 most of the time.
Agreed, that Clockwork is such a strong offlaner. So surprised. He also has just great initiation potential. If you can land a good hook shot and cogs a hero or two while push off the other hero away, you can easily bring down a hero and turn the tide in your favor.
Yeah, and definitely with that Clockwork also, you can even just Shadow Demon, get a Disrupt off, put your cogs to line them up, and then a boat will come straight flying in. Even if that's just a simplistic combo they can use, but it's still something that will be quite strong. And also another fantastic thing about those cogs, use it in the middle of a team fight, you split up teams, and it'll just cause chaos. If Noxious Gaming do want to go for any melee carried hero, they will be stuck and they'll be forced off the line with those cogs. And as we see the Lone Druid being picked up now, that should be the offlane for Noxious Gaming, so you'd like to see some pressure coming out by his BoysBoys to shut down Lone Druid, or if Lone Druid is left alone, around the 17 to 20 minute mark, he can have that armlet up and running on his bear, take down towers supremely fast, and be able to take on anyone one-on-one. And now we do see the Keeper of the Light being picked up for BoysBoys, so they're going to combination that Shadow Demon's Disrupt into the what do you call it? The Torrent with that Illuminate. That's a lot of burst damage coming out by BoysBoys, and they can hold off tower pushes.
Definitely an excellent anti-push hero, Keeper of the Light is. The Noxious Gaming can push a little bit early with that Lone Druid, depending on how well he's doing. Oh, and then pick up an Alchemist. Excellent. So that I reckon works well with the Rubik in a trying situation. We still have yet to see the last hero picked, but I think that Alchemist is actually a very nice pickup.
Hmm. By the looks of it, Noxious Gaming will be running this Batrider mid, be running your Rubik and Alchemist on that safe lane, and with a third hero to bring up with that Alchemist and Rubik. So they will be looking to pick up their second support hero to help out there. They've got their off lane and mid heroes already ready, so BoysBoys should be looking to find their final or hard carry and see who they want to pick up in this situation. So with the bans, we do get rid of that Lena and get rid of PL from the pools. So that's one less stunning for Noxious Gaming. I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see that Jakiro come out shortly after. Jakiro is always a fantastic hero. His Ice Wall, it hits everyone 90% of the time. It's one of those abilities that either segregates you from your team, or you get hit by it and you get killed by the enemy team anywhere.
Yeah, and it's such a good ability to set up some early kills as well. It's just because of its long range, and it gives enough time for example, a Rubik to follow up or the Alchemist to prep his stun a little bit longer, ensuring a kill.
So who do you think they will be picking up for their carry? There's quite a few heroes still left in the pool. I would like to see maybe a Luna or a Nature's Prophet, given that little roaming ability, except Nature's Prophet doesn't hit hard late game unless you get that a farm on him. So I'm looking forward to seeing a Luna being picked up by BoysBoys.
Yeah, Luna would be a good pick, I agree. There are some other carry heroes they can pick up, such as Anti-Mage, although in this situation probably not as likely. The Luna would certainly be a little bit better, especially she has, I feel, a lot more potential in the late game, especially with the glaive bouncers can really take down a team. And it's actually going to be a Spectre.
And Spectre did get that small buff last patch, like the indirect buff of the Radiance Burn, and I believe there was something else that got buffed in Spectre. I can't quite remember at this stage. But Spectre you're now seeing quite a lot more often, which I'm starting to like. She's a good hero. She can farm anywhere on the map and be instantly into that team fight, and in no seconds with that Haunt ability.
Yeah, she does really well, and she can take quite a bit of damage as well with that dispersion. So I actually like that pickup quite well there from BoysBoys.
And another thing I like to point out with BoysBoys, they can have the Spectre farming anywhere on the map. Kotal can be in the thick of the battle, and then pull, say, such a Kunker who is farming elsewhere on the map. So they can be farming two parts of the map at once, and then call in the other two heroes, and they can have a 5-on-5 fight straight away. So they're going to get quite a decent XP and gold advantage if they do want to use that global potential of getting heroes into a fight. And we do see that Xalorith Mage being picked up by Noxious Gaming. So once again, we do see those new heroes coming into since 6.78, and I'm looking forward to it. I love Xalorith Mage. He's such a fun hero to watch and play. So we do get, the conventional pause at the start of the game for get rid of any lag and just tactical pauses. Except they're setting up Skype, so I'm still going to call it a tactical pause. If we do look at the game, on Noxious side, we have that captain being played on the Xalorith Mage. Moops on their Batrider will be Royo Dota. On their Alchemist will be Kajon. Their supports will be played by IWJ on that Rubik. And finally, we have Lone Druid being played by Wizard Fox. If you'd like to introduce the BoysBoys team.
Sure, we've got the captain, Rylan 26 on the Kunker. We've got mediocre player on the Spectre. We've got Super John on the Keeper of the Light, Xavier on the Shadow Demon, and last but not least we've got Iviv, whatever, on the Clockwork.
So who do you feel has got this late game? I mean, there's an Alchemist on Noxious, yet there's a Spectre on the other side, so they both can take it late. But if it does go late and they both get 6th slot, who do you think will be able to take this game?
It's going to be tricky to call. I mean, I feel that BoysBoys probably has the more survivable team. Keeper of the Light, for example, has that blinding light, able to, at the very least, cause a little bit of problems for Alchemist in those team fights. If he can't hit any attacks, it doesn't matter how farmed he is. Spectre can also get very tanky, and that dispersion as well. Kunker, Strength Hero. you know, Clockwork, they do have a very durable lineup, but at the same time, Noxious Gaming have quite a good mix, and I think that Rubik is going to be key to some of these team fights. He's going to really need to steal some abilities and play some well to ensure that Noxious Gaming end up on top of those.
I definitely agree there, but I feel as if Noxious will have to try and get these early towers. I mean, they have the Lone Druid, they've got the Alchemist who needs to get that farm up, but if you can get some of those towers down with the Lone Druid, you have Batrider roaming, get a few picks off. If Noxious can win this early game, they'll start to snowball this into the late game, because really on BoysBoys, you have that Spectre, he needs that farm terribly. If you can get a gank or two off on him, he's going to be shut down in early, but if you can do the same to this Alchemist, both sides are going to be quite hard in this. It comes down to how the supports will want to rotate and find these kills, and which lanes will eventually win it. With the Batrider in mid, I believe Conker's going to have a very harsh time if they do decide to run a mid, which I couldn't see any other hero, unless they want to go for that unconventional Clockwork mid. But Batrider against against this Conker mid, Batrider should win this lane, should get his very fast blink and should start roaming as soon as possible. And we should get quite a lot of advantage on Noxious Gaming if they do decide to try and get that early ganking potential of that Batrider off and running.
Yeah, I agree. I certainly feel that Noxious Gaming have the better, I guess, lineup in terms of the laning phase. As you said, the mid hero for BoysBoys, which will probably be the Conker, he's not as strong as the Batrider. He can still do decently well, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm not sure he can really contest the runes against the Batrider too much, but we'll see how it goes.
So we got the tri lane down and bottom lane for Noxious Gaming, and so they'll be pretty much uncontested against this Clockwork. So I'd like to see early rotation from these heroes from Noxious Gaming, the Rubik, and where did he go? Xalorith Mage. I'd like to see an early rotation from those two in mid lane to help out this Batrider, try and find an early pickup on that Conker, because Conker doesn't have really any survivability early game, he's got no moves to get out of there. So if you can get a decent timed silence off on him, maybe a Batrider slowing him down with a nice flame break backwards, Rubik picked up, you will have a very dead Conker. So I expect there will be the first blood on mid lane if there's a good rotation coming out by these supports of Noxious Gaming.
Yeah, I agree. I would certainly like to see some of those supports roaming a lot, especially on Noxious Gaming, because they do have that potential to roam, whereas BoysBoys, their lineup, their supports can't roam as well. I feel like the Rubik and the Xalorith are certainly much more stronger in that regard. They can dish out a little bit more damage than the Shadow Demon can.
So we got the good old Lone Druid's Bear pulling that creep wave, getting him safe back to his tower. He'll probably pull it in between his towers or leave it at the front of his tower. He should be fine at last hidden for a while. He'll get his level 2, so he's going to be quite happy there. And we do have Shadow Demon helping out this Conker mid, so they're going to be putting up those two. Good combination there, unless Shadow Demon decides to rotate. He did throw that ward down. So there's going to be possibly a dual land in mid, or Shadow Demon going to rotate? No, Shadow Demon's going to stay in mid to try and keep this Batrider down. So I feel as if this is a good position by BoysBoys. It forces the rotation of the Rubik to come help out. So it's just going to be a solo lane down and bottom. Alchemist first, that Clockwork.
Oh, we have an initiation on the Batrider, and now we had one just a little while ago as well. He's taking quite a bit of damage. He should be able to get out fine, but he's already wasted one of his potions, and now he has to rely on, well, Rubik's going to give him one. But he has to play very careful now, and he's going to be struggling a little bit here.
And that's the very strong potency coming out from that Shadow Demon Conker combination. So at the start, when they did go for those two heroes, they were planning to run it mid against this Batrider, because they presumed Batrider would either be mid or the jungle, and from the lineup they did run him mid. So now they've got these two very strong heroes. They're going to try and win this lane combination, and if this Batrider moves out of position once again, if he tries to go in the river, he probably will be shut down and destroyed by these two heroes, which now that, as we're speaking, these two support heroes are rotated top, man fighting each other on the way over, and IWJ is just getting those auto attacks off, showing the Shadow Demon who's boss.
We've got a haste pickup here from the Xalorith Mage. We'll see if he'll be able to set anything up. Most likely not, but who knows?
So he throws out the concussion bolt, the cloak.
Looks like they want an initiation on clock.
We have a great coming from the Oscar Cocktail, but I don't think they're going to find it here. Clockwork's too tanky, and Xalorith Mage can't do too much, so Xalorith Mage is going to rotate back. And I almost feel that was a bit more detrimental to Noxious Gaming than, I mean, Alchemist got hit by the face by Cogs, took about 80 damage, got his mana burnt, his Acid Cocktail did 150 damage, oh, probably about 75 since it wasn't even fully charged. And in mid lane we got an initiation on
Conker's gonna
Conker.
fall.
Conker does fall. Now they're looking at Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon's got 3 stacks on him, 1 more auto attack, probably would have finished him off. So a nice pick off there by Noxious Gaming. Those Napalm stacks are just deadly. They reduce your turn speed, they reduce your slow, and then you take so much more additional damage. So great pick off there for Noxious Gaming.
I'll certainly be happy about that one, especially on this Batrider who really loves that early farm.
This Batrider does have a bottle coming to in mid, so a 3-minute bottle is better than what you want. So he's going to have very good early rune control. They do have a ward down bottom, and he's going to have the rune control because sticky Napalm, he'll beat anyone to the rune. And if he needs to, flame break him off, maybe find a flame break onto a cliff, and that would just be icing on the cake for whoever he does hit up there. So up on top lane, we have the Spectre sitting 16 for 3 up against a Lone Druid being played by Wizard Fox, who's actually doing a fantastic job. He's currently sitting 15 for 2. There's one thing I haven't liked so far is Super John. He hasn't been stacking properly. He's been grabbing one creep wave, these creeps destroy that camp off, and then a double wave comes through, pushing it close to the tower, so Lone Druid's been able to easily last hit. One of the best heroes to last hit under a tower. And he's just been getting all this farm that he shouldn't be having. These creeps should be being denied.
Yeah, both the Lone Druid and Alchemist are actually doing a wonderful job here, maintaining the top of the charts basically in the last hits.
Oh, we do see another kill being found on the Shadow Demon, and Kunkka picking off that Rubik. Rubik was once again trying to man fight with the Shadow Demon, and then Kunkka decided to come over. They set up the torrent into that disruption, finding that easy kill onto that Rubik. Batrider tried to come up with his flame break, but there's only so much a Batrider can do, and with the double damage on that Shadow Demon, it was more than enough to force that Batrider off. They're going to throw another disruption coming out into the torrent. They're going to start auto-attacking this Batrider down. Will they have enough? Flame break hits them back. Are they still going to dive it? They need 2 more auto-attacks. They're not going to find it, and Batrider's going to get out of there.
Excellent pick off there on the Rubik by BoysBoys. Certainly helped them catch a little bit up since they did lose that first blood. Batrider is almost level 6, so we might see him try to attempt something once he does have that ultimate.
And so just a little thing I like to notice, 6.78 for those of you who don't know, brought in that bottle courier change, how your courier moves abysmally slow now. I think it's like 20% slower now that that's on it. So it's slowly moving its way back to base. They don't think they can grab the rune coming up, and they just want that mana up on that Batrider. So it did get a little bit of nerf, which is great to see. So it does try and make you get that rune control more important in these types of games.
The Clockwork Skywrath combo taking down the Alchemist Skywrath combo, taking down the Clockwork there. A great silence on the Clockwork from the Skywrath, and the follow-up stun will be enough to kill him. But yeah, that bottle change certainly weakens a lot of the, particularly the melee heroes in the mid lane. For example, like Magnus he was very popular in the mid lane before. I don't feel like the change is huge. I feel it's relatively mild. In the end, it's a few seconds difference, and you can, if you do time your haste burst on the courier, you can negate it a little bit. But certainly, as you were saying, it does hurt, especially in the fast-paced action that the mid lane is.
So Spectre's not getting too bad of a farm. She is sitting on 28 for 5. So she is keeping up with that Lone Druid. But that Alchemist has gone for level 2 in his Grieveland's Greed, and that's just going to start stacking up very fast, very soon. He hasn't even gone for any of his acid spray. He doesn't believe he needs it, and so far his last hit has been right on the money. And up at top lane we have an Illuminate come flying through, and Spectre's going to jump, but a lucky Entangle coming out, keeping that Lone Druid alive. If that Entangle didn't come out, that would have been one dead Lone Druid.
I agree. Very lucky for him. Yeah, and as you were saying, the Alchemist doing very well in that farm. He's sitting at 3k net worth at the moment. Lone Druid second at 2.5. Specs just a little bit behind. But yeah, certainly that Alchemist and Lone Druid doing very well. especially since he's been racking up a few kills here on the Clockwork.
Up on top lane, we got the lone druid trying to manfight against the Spectre, and he could easily kill her down if he gets one lucky entangle off. Spectre was standing there, not really taking too much attention. In mid lane, we have a torrent coming out into the flame break, but they're not going to dive it. So they just got my hopes up, but not too much going to happen there. Just a little bit of harassment. As I was saying, the lone druid then could have easily killed that Spectre with one entangle coming out. Spectre was quite far away from trees to be able to dagger and get out of there. So Spectre playing balls to the wall and does get out of there with his balls, so to speak.
I'm just going to take a quick look at these levels. Actually, we find that they're fairly even, except for the carries on the for Noxious game. They're a little bit ahead compared to BoysBoys. We see that Alchemist is now level 9 compared to, well, Spectre, who's the highest at level 7. Actually, we see initiation here.
The Illuminate comes flying out, and the boat comes landing in onto the Batrider. Batrider crunches like there's no tomorrow. So nice use of the Disruption boat combination. They're going to be taken towards Skywrath Mage. One more auto attack. Spectre picks up that kill. They're going to be looking to pick up this Rubik. Rubik's in a load of trouble. Rubik can't get out of here. Torrent lands, and that's a kill to the Tonka.
Yeah, they locked down that Batrider pretty much permanently there. The Disruption, the Torrent, and the boat, enough to keep him in place and also kill him. So well played there by BoysBoys.
So now they will be turning towards this mid tower. They should be able to get this without too much of a problem. They should be able to clear up these next creep wave and get the tower before Noxious and their heroes do rotate into the mid lane. Lone Druid, however, is thinking about doing a trade up in top lane. He should go for it. However, Wizard is going to be back in. I don't feel that's right. He could have done quite a bit of damage to this tower. Maybe take it down to about a quarter HP so that the next push he would be able to get it.
Yeah, I feel like he should have stayed there a little bit longer. Maybe just do a little bit more chip damage, possibly force a fortify if he could, but nonetheless, I guess he just wants to play safe. He has been doing quite well in terms of farming, but certainly doesn't want to lose that.
So this Alchemist, he's had his Mars up for about 4 minutes now, so he had a very fast Mars about the 6-minute mark, and it's paying dividends. He's used it 3 times so far, and that's his level's just skyrocketing because of it. He's getting a lot of farm, a lot of XP. And there's just no harassment going on to him. I feel as if BoysBoys need to rotate down and try and stop this Alchemist farms, or he's going to get out of hand, get 6 slaughtered by the 30-minute mark, and then it could be a very, very harsh order to try and kill him. Very tall order.
I agree, they really should try something, a smoke gank or something to really lock down the Alchemist. He doesn't really have the greatest of escapes. If you can get your Clockwork to set up a decent cogs, or even the Clockwork Shadow Demon combination, as you were saying before, we just set up Disruption and set up cogs underneath him. It should be enough to ensure that they get a kill on the Alchemist.
And BoysBoys Conquer just doing a little bit of damage to this Batrider, so Batrider's just going to retreat to the forest, get whatever he can and rotate back home, get a battlefield and full lease on life in that fountain. And in mid lane we do have that Shadow Demon and Coddle rotating in middle, but they've got no one to gank. These two supports are just roaming around like headless chickens at the moment. They really need to try and get their head together and try and pull out a kill, go into the jungle and find either that Batrider, who they do know now is there, or even rotate bottom, find a support, or definitely they need to go on this Alchemist. However, they're going to be looking to get this middle tower. They're still not going to get it, especially with this A support coming in by... Now the Rubik's decided to turn around. So there's a little bit of a miscommunication, or not sure what BoysBoys are doing with these supports. I really think they need to try and find this kill on this Alchemist. I mean, he's getting a little bit too out of hand. Alchemist is sitting on 5.6k net worth. He's 2k higher than their Spectre, and it's just going to keep snowballing, especially if they don't do anything. Now that they do have this mid tower, they've got that map position. However, depends on how they want to use it. They're going to rotate top to try and find this lone druid. I don't think this is necessarily the right thing. They need to smoke up. They're going to counter ward Noxious's ward, so they're removing any vision that Noxious has on the map, so that is a nice play by BoysBoys. But now I feel as they do need to smoke up and then find a pick off somewhere, because at the moment they are a little bit lost.
I agree. I mean, Lone Druid, he's not doing as well in terms of net worth now with Spectre and Conquer, but that's mainly because of that tower that just fell, that tier 1. Whereas Alchemist, he's still sitting at 6k, 6.2k almost now, which is almost 2k more than the Spectre. That's quite insane, considering it's not even the 13-minute mark yet. So they really need to find some more ganks on these core heroes.
And we do see the Coddle, he's almost got his headdress, he's almost got his blocker up, so he should have a fairly decent time in mechanism up at the 16-minute mark. The way he's going, he'll have it 15-16-minute mark, and they'll continue to push these towers. This is what BoysBoys need to do. They need to get rid of any map control that on Noxious game inside, and then be able to freely roam around. But one more thing, they do need to take this Alchemist, because this Clockwork's done pretty much nothing all game except sit down here and keep this tower safe. Even Clockwork himself could have roamed, pick off mid, pick up top, or do pretty much anything. There's no way, you can't really kill this lone druid. He's got a lot of health once he's in that ult form. His bear's been constantly scouting in this jungle. And that Shadow Demon and Coddle, when they rotated up top early, they won't be able to find anything. They do get a little bit of creeps into the jungle, but I just don't think those supports are doing what they need to do at the moment. They need to smoke up and find a pick off.
I agree. I also just want to talk a little bit more about the items. Alchemist looks like he is going to pick up a Shadow Blade. He has picked up the Claymore so far, and I suspect he'll turn that into a Shadow Blade very, very soon. However, we do see quite a few support items picked up by by BoysBoys so far. We see Kanka, he's currently got the Drum of Endurance. Spectre has one as well. I'm not sure if Drum is always awesome, but I'm not sure if 2 on the team this early is the right way to go. I feel like Spectre could have probably worked towards her Diffusal or something like that. But as you said, Keeper of Light, he's working towards his mecha and he should have it soon. He's already finished that buck.
So we see Conker just going into the jungle there, spotting out people. He was surrounded by 3 heroes on the side of Noxious Gaming. They could have possibly used the lasso from that lift that Rubik did pull up. However, Conker's just going to walk out of there with no hassle whatsoever. And speaking of that Shadow Blade, as you were talking about earlier, Alchemist did pick that up just then, and I don't think that he's going to be able to die. They have Clockwork, who's got Cogs, but they don't have any Revelation, so he's just going to Shadow Blade and he's going to get out of here. No matter what kind of gank they do here, it's too late. They don't have any Revelation, and Alchemist just won't die here. So he's got a little bit of pressure onto this tower. They're still sitting behind him. They're waiting to do anything. Clockwork's getting ready to hookshot in. He's trying to get through. He gets that hookshot, but nothing's going to happen. Once again, that's wasted XP, wasted time, and gold on the side of BoysBoys. They now will look to push this bottom tower in, but in the meanwhile, Lone Druid will try and get this top tower in the trade. Batrider does now pick up that Blink Dagger, so that's going to be quite useful for Noxious Game inside.
Yeah, I agree. That's actually an excellent pick-off. We should see some more ganks from him. But also, I feel like from the Alchemist, with that Shadow Blade, he can also be a little more aggressive. And also move around on the map. We can see him rotating to top. It looks like he wants to help out that Lone Druid on the Spectre kill, potentially, or even just a tower push. Which they should be able to do fine. There we go.
So that's not
excellent pick off there.
That's not what BoysBoys needed. Their one and only hero that's getting any farm is just now being picked off, and now the 2 heroes on side of Noxious Gaming that's getting more than ridiculous amount of farm will now get a tower, get some gold, and just keep pushing. They've got the XP as well. And BoysBoys have grouped up down bottom, and they're probably they might lose tier 1 tower top. They'll push to tier 2, force TPs back, and that's even more money on the side of BoysBoys they're gonna lose.
Yeah, and Alchemist actually gets the kill on that, so that's even more farm for him. They won't complain about that.
So we do have Coddle returning back to base now. He's not going to be able to pull anyone back. He hasn't decided to level up his spirit form, and now tier 2 tower is going to take a lot of damage. So they're going to trade a tier 1 bottom for possibly a tier 2 top, and they're going to force TPs out. So not only do they get that 200 gold for everyone, they force 3 TPs, and that's 375 gold. The hookshot's going to miss and land on the bear, so nice little micro coming out by Wizard to protect himself from any possibility of dying.
You know, I feel like the Clockwork probably should have just cogsed up there, and they could have just taken the bear. That's still 300 gold bounty for killing the bear alone.
The Oceanic Cacti coming out onto the Clockwork. Great disruption coming out onto a Purge. So he's going to slow that down into a taunt. Bird's coming fine. It's going to do a lot of damage. Final attack, and Alchemist is gone. Didn't even have any time to Shadow Blade out of there because he used it to jump in with that Oceanic Cacti. He will buy back. He will TP into their 2-2 tower. But I feel as if that was not necessarily the right choice. But then again, it's Alchemist. He can make back his gold buyback in about 5 seconds, especially with some nice stacking that his teammates are doing for him. Batrider decided to leave those small creeps for him to pick up about an extra 200 gold due to his Goblin's greed.
Yeah, actually they picked up the Skyraf as well there, so very well played there by BoysBoys, killing the Alchemist, which is what they really needed. And yeah, just putting themselves a little bit closer to the farm of Noxious Gaming. If we do look at that goal difference graph, we can see that Noxious is currently in a 3k lead, which isn't huge, but it's relatively significant.
I mean, it's 18 minutes in. It's going to start. It was snowballing upwards because that Alchemist farm was uncontended, but now because he just did give away a kill, then it's going to go back in the favor of BoysBoys, and then Alchemist just needs to sit back and farm up some more. He was doing a very good job, and now the side of BoysBoys have slowly started to caught up with him on that Conquered Spectre, and I do miss the kill down at bottom, my mistake there.
It's all good, I got that. That was an excellent play there by the free support here. Well, yeah, the free support heroes here from Noxious Game. It did cost Batrider an ultimate, but for a Spectre kill, totally worth it.
And that's not what BoysBoys needed. Losing that primary carry, that's the word I'm looking for. It's going to hurt them quite a lot, especially now that Spectre's been shoved back down under that 6k net worth. Lost about 300 to 400 gold there. Now they're going to bottom tier 1 tower, possibly look forward to get the tier 2 tower. Once again, keeping one up on BoysBoys and their tower pushing abilities.
Yeah, they lost the Spectre there in that bottom gank, and Alchemist was able to get the tier 1 tower. And also got quite a lot of chip damage. Actually, we might see another engagement here. Rubik is not going to be able to teleport. Split second too slow, unfortunately, there. And there's Alchemist is in there, though. There's a Skyraf ulti. It's enough to kill off the Shadow Demon.
See a great torrent into
Excellent
a dust,
torrent.
and now we've got a dead Alchemist. He can't get out of here. So now the hookshot onto the Skyraf Mage.
Excellent hookshot.
Beautiful hookshot by that Clockwork to be able to find that Skyraf Mage. And so that's a 3-for-1 trade on favour of BoysBoys. They got a tower, but they lost 3 heroes. And especially on that Alchemist, is not what you want. If they lost 2 heroes and Alchemist lived, that would have been more than reasonable. But they did lose that Alchemist, and Alchemist is going to be halted once again in that farm.
Yeah, he's still doing quite well. I mean, he's still sitting at 10k net worth, which is 3k above the Spectre, who's really the hero to be feared on the BoysBoys side. But as you were saying, yeah, he's still out for another 20 seconds, which is going to cause him a little bit of hassle.
So still, the gold graph is going heavily in favour of Noxious, purely just because they're getting the towers. Well, they're trading the towers. They're currently even in towers, but that Alchemist, his farms just constantly get out of control, and that's what you expect on an Alchemist. And I believe he should just sit in the farm or the jungle a bit often and a bit longer, and pick up his next big item. He's going for possibly an AC, Salt Cuirass, or he might turn that into Mazonia. I'm looking for an AC because they do want. It would be very beneficial to have that extra arm, especially against that Conquer, who goes all about that crit. And Conquer's now going to have that Shadow Blade picked up. Should be coming on the Kira any second now. That's going to help with his burst damage on the initiation of the fight. And I don't believe there's any. Yeah, there is a little bit of revelation on the side of Noxious. And Batrider's flying in, was looking about a pick off then, but got hit by the Illuminate, so he's not going to be able to find anything there.
Yeah, actually I want to mention that Lone Druid's doing pretty well in terms of farm as well. He actually just lost his bear there, and it's on cooldown, which means he's pretty much unable to farm, was unable to farm at all for 30 seconds. He has picked up Javelin, so it looks like he might go towards the Basher, especially since he does have that Maelstrom. So he has the attack speed on the bear, and I actually quite like that.
We see a smoke up on the side of BoysBoys, and just to further reiterate that, yeah, I believe he will be going for that MKB, purely because it will stop any Binding Light. If he does pop that Binding Light off, it doesn't matter for that Lone Druid, he will just get away and attack straight through it. So they're going on this Alchemist once again, got a Disruption coming off. Do they have any Revelation? They do have Revelation. It's going to be dusted, but the dust missed. The boat does collide, but they still have vision of him. Who's got the ward? I thought that dust missed. There we go. Dust is thrown out again, and they're going to pick off that Alchemist. So Alchemist being caught out of position, and once again killed off.
There was a sentry ward there, right next to that observer.
Oh, there it is. Couldn't see that. It was hiding behind everything.
Yeah, sneaky sentry.
So Noxious Gamer are going to lose another tower. They can't fight this. Without the Alchemist, they can't fight. They're going to lose a tower. The Ranger's just going to try and get some more farm up top, which is exactly what they need. Try and keep pushing. And however, BoysBoys are deciding to rotate out. I don't feel as if this is the right move. Even on Spectre on a little bit of low health, they had that urn there. That would have popped him back up to about 800. Pop a second charge, he'd be full health. Instead, they're going to back off when they had easily the bottom pushing potential. And now they're just going to go back onto their side and start farming up some more.
Yeah, I agree. They should have continued pushing onto this tier 2 tower. Even if they didn't get it down, they could have still at least done some chip damage and get it down in the next push, and potentially push into that the tier 3 tower and do a little bit of damage on that.
So now we do
They really need to try and keep up. Sorry, I was just gonna say they really do need to try to keep up at the very least on the towers, as that Alchemist is still doing amazing. I mean, he's still sitting at 12k. They are gonna go and rush in, which will bring them a little bit back, but I feel like they do need to push a little bit more.
The good thing with BoysBoys is they reduced the entire vision, and they're constantly reducing the vision of Noxious Gaming. So they will pick off the Roshan. It should go to Conquer. Conquer will pick that up because Spectre's nowhere in sight, just farming away. So it's a nice pick up by BoysBoys, and their constant counter warding is removing any chance of Noxious Gaming being able to see where they are on the map. We do see a smoke up by Noxious, but it's going to be instantly walked into the Shadow Demon. Firefly's coming out, Illuminate's been channeled, Boat's coming in, Boat hits on one, Skyreth Mage falls instantly in the background, the Lasso comes out into the Keeper of the Light, not doing too much damage, and then Keeper of the Light's just going to keep running, Torrent's going to miss, Cuddle will fall shortly after. We see the Alchemist picking off the Clockwork in the backlines, not someone you want to be caught up with in those cogs. Keeper of the Light still managing to find his way off. Will they see a final pick off? That Bear's coming in at full charge. He's got those face boots. Final auto attack comes off. We got X marks the spot onto the Alchemist. Conker's now in a load of trouble. He's got hits by the Acid Cocktail. He's got no mana to pop that Shadow Blade off. They found him. Flame Break back. Final auto attack should find the kill onto this Conker. Conker will die. Spectre comes back in. The Aegis has been popped off on side of that Conker. Now we see a death go inside of that Rubik. Spectre's now picked up 2 kills, turning towards the Alchemist. He's been diffused. Alchemist doesn't care. Auto attacks him down. The Bear's doing a great job, and they find off another kill. Fantastic turnaround by Noxious Gaming. They're going to look towards the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon will pop like a balloon.
Wow, some crazy initiations there and some crazy engagements. We see Conker's brought back. He's trying to catch up to something. He might actually get this pick off on Shadow Wrath. Oh, sorry, on the Skywrath Mage, but on it, it decides to go on the Alchemist. He doesn't have enough damage, he's gonna get picked off.
So they're going to turn back around. Clockwork stuck inside with Alchemist once again. Not the place you want to be, Clockwork. And now we've got Illuminate being channeled. Will he be able to find this kill? Illuminate's going through. It's just going to miss. Not going to be able to find that pick off. So I think that was about 7 kills in favour of Noxious, 4 kills in favour of BoysBoys. So Noxious Gaming getting the better of that end and getting out with their lives. And now you see the XP graph. XP graph was coming back in favour, but after that crazy initiation of a fight, they've turned it back around and they're skyrocketing back in the lead. So BoysBoys just lost their potential lead that they had, and now Noxious are going to start farming this up and start pushing ahead for their lead.
Yeah, Noxious are doing really well here, and Londrill's actually finished off that Basher, which will do great in those initiations, in those 5-man team fights, but also just pick off hero or two. I feel like that some of the carries for both teams have actually gotten picked off a little bit out of position a few times. Actually, we see Shadow Demon get picked off here. There's no way he can survive.
That poor Shadow Demon, what an unlucky time to pick up an invis and then walk next to that counter rev. They didn't use the counter rev to destroy the ward, so he walked in there thinking he was all fine and dandy and just got killed off by a fortunate placement of that sentry, which is now about to expire. So poor Shadow Demon, just unlucky timing.
Yeah, very unfortunate. But as I was saying a little while ago, I do feel that some of the carries for both sides have been caught out a little bit. We saw Spectre get caught out in top once, and then in bottom as well, once or twice I believe as well. But similar scenarios happened with Alchemist, although it doesn't seem to have hurt Noxious as much as it has hurt BoysBoys. As Alchemist now has picked up a Reaver, so it looks like he's going towards... it could be a Satanic actually, if he wants that lifesteal.
I think he'll go for more of that safe build. It's now an initiation. Boat's going to come in. It's going to hit on that Skyreth Mage. Skyreth Mage should pop like a fire very shortly. Elsewhere on the map, Spectre does find that kill on the Skyreth Mage, which is where you want. Alchemist is trapped in those cogs. He's still auto-attacking that Conquer. Conquer will fall shortly after. Rubik dies to the Spectre, who's now going and doing a lot of damage to the Lone Druid. Alchemist is still trapped in those cogs, and now Clockwork's going to get out. The Bat Rider's lasso has been thrown onto Spectre. Spectre Rider's just going to fall shortly after. It's nothing he can do. Once you get hit by that lasso against an Alchemist, you're going to fall. There's not much you can do about that. The cocktail comes out. Coddle will find a kill on that Alchemist. So far, I'd say it's in favour of BoysBoys, because both sides... Actually, no. Noxious, they didn't lose their Lone Druid. However, BoysBoys lost both their carries. So that was more beneficial for that Noxious side, and they did pick up the tier 2 tower in the meanwhile.
Incoming.
Yeah, definitely. If we do have a quick look at the items for both sides, we see Skyreth is almost finished off that mecha. Bat Rider has the standard Blink Dagger, Force Staff. Rubik still only really is carrying the Urn and the Arcan Boots. We'll see what he starts to move into next. And we actually do see the Morbid Mask pick up for Alchemist, so it does look like he wants to move into that Satanic.
And over on the side of BoysBoys, we do have a few good items up. The Spectre's got Diffusal, Yasha, got the Vitality booster, and should be looking forward to moving into possibly a heart, I would say, because once Spectre gets that heart, you won't be seeing her die anytime soon. And I believe the Alchemist will also be going for this heart. Alchemist, if he picks up that heart, then most of the burst damage from BoysBoys, the Illuminate, the Boat, the Torrent, basically anything that comes out on the side of BoysBoys will be next to negated. If you picked up, say, a Satanic, you can still be burst down quite fast, but then you can be brought straight back up. So his item choice is still open to suggestion, but I would probably see the general heart being thrown out by him just purely for that sustainability early on, especially since you didn't get that BKB. Usually if you go for a Satanic, you pick up a BKB to follow it, so you can't be stunned and taken straight out, because if he pops that Satanic a little bit too early, and he just gets chain stunned, maybe disruption, then his Satanic's over, and he's just going to fall like a fly.
That's a potential option, but then what do you think he's going to turn that the Morbid Mask, the lifesteal that he's already picked up?
Ooh, where's his lifesteal? It's in his Fountain Courier?
It's on the Courier.
I absolutely did not see that. I am completely out of it. Sorry about that. So yeah, you're definitely right. He will pick up that Satanic, but that could be quite a bit of a problem if he does get chain stunned or even disrupted at the wrong potential time.
Oh, I definitely agree. I feel like he probably should have picked up a BKB earlier. And now that he's getting that Satanic, if I doubt he'll get a BKB for the rest of the game. It's quite late for one. I guess he can still pick it up, but we'll see what he decides, I guess.
That's just almost disgusting. He picked up about 2k gold off that quadruple stack on that hard ancient camps, and that's just Goblin's greed for you.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that BoysBoys, they've had amazing ward placement throughout this entire game. I'm surprised they didn't put one there near that Ancients.
So we have the Chemical Rage being thrown out by the Skyreth Mage ult's gone. Mystic Flare's been doing a lot of damage to the Spectre. Boat's coming flying through. It's going to land on the Alchemist. Alchemist will fall. And that's what happens if you don't have your Satanic or any BKB to follow it up. There goes the Bat Rider. Spectre's picking off that Rubik in the background, so that's 4 dead on the side of Noxious Gaming. BoysBoys are going to push in, look for a tier 3 tower. Buyback status. There's one on Lone Druid, one on Bat Rider, but that's it. So they're going to lose a tier 3 tower here. Lone Druid's trying to push down and force any buyback. Shadow Demon will go back. The Lone Druid could easily try to fight this, but he's going to return back and see what he can do back at base. I don't feel this is the right option. He should try and stay and trade towers, because he can't fight up against this squad at the moment.
Oh, I definitely agree. That was an excellent engagement there by his BoysBoys. It's exactly what they needed. The early pickoff on Alchemist basically ensured that the rest of the team just absolutely melted. And they will get at least a melee Rax here.
So now the Lone Druid's coming out, doing a little bit of auto attacks to his Clockwork. Clockwork's not going to fall. Lone Druid's going to retreat, doesn't want to lose his bag, give away that 300 gold. Mystic Flare's been popped on Spectre. Spectre's going to get out of there. Boat's coming fine, it's going to land on one. Lone Druid once again, but he's a tanky bear. He's not going to take too much damage. The Raxes have 4, now they're going to run. Will this Bat Rider be able to find a pickoff? Where did that Bat Rider go? I lost him. No, he's got to blink in. He's still too far away. Is he going to lasso? Great hookshot coming out by that Clockwork, keeping himself alive. He's going to pop that cogs, and they're all going to survive.
I'm surprised there was no Force Star follow-up there by the Bat Rider. once he blinked in.
So I feel this is a little bit of misplay by Wizard Fox. He should have stayed down bottom. He was up against just a disruptor. Not a disruptor, just a Shadow Demon with disruption. There's not much the Shadow Demon could do. He could have easily killed that and tried to trade those tier 3 towers and maybe even get those racks. If not get the racks, he could have come back later and then got those racks. So instead, he came back to base, he couldn't do anything, and he just watched his racks fall. So he's going to miss out on farm, XP, and potentially tower and those racks.
Yeah, definitely. We actually see Roshan's going to be spawning in just under a minute here, and I suspect that BoysBoys will want to pick up that Roshan before they push out again. But this time I feel like that Noxious certainly have the opportunity to pick up the Aegis instead. They certainly will be keeping an eye on that timer.
I think both sides know that something's going on. Something fishy is going on. So they're all waiting around that Roshan pit. They're waiting for it to pop up. They're waiting to see who makes that first move. And the good things on the side of Noxious Gaming, they have the vision. BoysBoys, they currently do have wards up on that Shadow Demon, but Shadow Demon is too scared to walk out there and ward it. And counter ward's coming out by that Rubik. So if any vision does come down, it's going to instantly be counter warded. Shadow Demon's walking past into this ward. They can easily find the pickoff. They do get the lasher. They're going to blink back, pull him in, and that's a dead Shadow Demon. This could easily be a free Roshan for the side of Noxious Gaming. With that Shadow Demon down, they don't have any vision. They can easily fight. However, lasso is down, and it has been used. Firefly's about to run out, so they're going to lose a bit more vision. So we'll see if they do want to initiate or they're just going to back. I don't feel as if they can take it, however.
He's falling very quickly. Yeah, Alchemist's doing crazy damage.
So now we do see the Roshan fallen. Lone Druid's going to pick it up. I think it should have went to this Alchemist because Alchemist seems to be dying, but he is almost 6 slotted. He could have dropped that TP and then picked it up. But they will pick it up on this Alchemist, or onto this Lone Druid, and this is what they need. They need to not worry about these creeps down bottom. They need to push into middle and try and use this token. Or they can go back, farm up what they can, maybe get another item onto this Alchemist before they push out. Because he should be able to have another item up before his token will get close to near in the end.
Personally, I feel like they should have continued maybe pushing into that mid lane, or at least attempted to maybe just siege up a little bit. But instead, they are just going to back off, as you said, and just try to farm up.
So hopefully this Alchemist does pick up this BKB, because it's what he's need. He's got the Satanic, he needs that BKB, because he's been chain hexed or stunned and taken a lot of burst damage from on the side of BoysBoys. That boat coming in, that torrent, they're doing a lot of damage by themselves. And then that's followed up by the Illuminate, and usually the Spectral Dagger. Before even the Spectre gets near Alchemist, Alchemist has lost half his health. So he hasn't been able to use any of his lifesteal chances and just been taken down quite fast. So hopefully he does start to work up. They have smoked in middle, but this is a very obvious smoke. Top lane is pushing in, and BoysBoys should know something's going on. There's top lane's pushing in, no one's pushing it out. So they should expect something's going up, and they're already retreating.
Keeper of Light in a lot of danger here. We will get picked off. I can't see him getting away.
So they do pop that lasso into that flame break, and Batrider will pick it up. You'd hope that would have went on to one of your two carries, but that's just one of those fortunate situations. You want to get him dead as soon as possible. Now they're going to be looking to push in this tower. Coddle does not have buyback, I don't believe. Where are we? Coddle does not have buyback for another 500 gold, so they're currently winning this, but they're going to decide to back off once again because that top lane is pushing in.
I feel like they have the Aegis, so they have the potential to really push in, especially with the Keeper of the Light down. He's a great anti-pusher, and when you've killed off the anti-pusher, you should at least maybe try something. They have that Aegis. They have essentially, if Lone Druid dies, it's not the end of the world. And even if he dies, his bear can still run around and fight while Lone Druid is resurrecting. So I feel like they should try at least do something while they still have this Aegis up.
And this Lone Druid, he's got enough to buy this BKB. He's got 4.1k. His buyback, how much is his buyback worth? It is currently 1300 gold. So I still feel as if he can grab this BKB up, and then on the way to the tier 2 tower, he'll have his buyback ready again. But he really needs this BKB up. If he doesn't grab it up for the next fight, I can almost see another turnaround. BoysBoys coming out ahead, and there's going to be a lot of trouble on the side of Noxious Gaming. BoysBoys are trying to do a counter push in mid lane as top pushes in. They're going to force TPs back, force more time wasted, and they might even get a tier 2 out of it. We do see those 3 TPs, so they're not going to get this tier 2 tower out of fight.
Actually, I just want to talk about Kunkka's actually got a gem of true sight, so that Shadow Blade on Alchemist is not as useful as it once was. It's actually quite curious because you can't actually destroy gem anymore, and Kunkka's also got that Shadow Blade, so he has to be very careful not to lose that.
Batrider's flame braked up. He's looking for a pick-off. He's looking for that Kunkka. Will he be able to get there in time? He's got a cooldown off 1. He's got his cooldown. He's got to grab that Shadow Demon. Shadow's going to be pulled down. Not necessarily the one you want to grab, but still someone. Clockwork comes jumping in. He's going to get hit fully by that Mystic Flare. It's going to be silenced. Boat come flying in, doing a lot of damage. Lone Druid's now popped that Aegis. Skywrath Mage is down. Alchemist is doing a lot of work in the backlines onto Ryland. Ryland's going to run away. Shadow Demon will fall. Clockwork jumps back in with his hookshot, but now Clockwork has left himself to die. Now they need to get her out of it with whatever they can. So the Kunkka will survive. Coddle most likely will fall. He's not going to be able to get out of here. The eye is still intact with that Kunkka on 23 HP. He's got a TP. He's in the middle of nowhere. He will Shadow Blade out. He's looking to go back in. He should not do this. He's going to get found out by this Alchemist once his Shadow Blade runs out. He's going to pick off that ward. Alchemist is going to, however, run back. So this Kunkka is being very, very aggressive. He should run out of here. Spectre walking around in the middle of nowhere. She should be able to Spectral Dagger into the forest. Or will they be able to find the pick off? Lucky and Tail come out. Torrent's going to hit on 1, but Spectre will die. Spectre being caught completely out of position, not being able to TP there, and dies. So this is looking very bad for BoysBoys.
I definitely agree. That was a great play there by Noxious Gaming. The Skywrath and the Rubik died very quickly early on, but it didn't matter. I mean, the 2 carries were maintained, got out alive, and they pretty much wiped out the entire team except for Kunkka and I believe it was the Keeper of the Light. Kunkka was very low by the end of it. He got out very, very luckily, running into those trees and juking the Alchemist. But yeah, great play there by Noxious Gaming. They did lose the Aegis, which is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, when you're killing the carries, it doesn't make too much of a difference. And it's actually going to be a Monkey King bar pick up by the Lone Druid. Excellent choice.
And the Alchemist also has picked up his Scale Basher, so they're going to have all the stuns and mini bashes potentials on the side of Noxious, and this is just going to progressively get worse for BoysBoys. They do have that top tower, and Batrider is now alone, so it could be a 4v5 fight here when Spectre does come up. They're going to counter ward. Hookshot come flying in, but he's alone. We're going to see a Mystic Flare being popped, and now Clockwork's dead. Very, very bad choice for that Clockwork. So Clockwork will fall. Spectre jumps in, using that Haunt, and it's not going to be able to do too much. He might jump in and find that Batrider. He might not. They might just spot it out, and now that's just a waste of a Haunt. He could have jumped in mid. He saw the 4 heroes down bottom and found that pick off on that Batrider, especially if you're a Diffusal Blade. He had 3 charges, could have found that pick off the Batrider, and it would have been worth it. However, it's not going to be the case, and Noxious Gamer will dodge another bullet.
Yeah, and they got a free pick off on Clockwork, so they'll be happy about that. I still feel like Alchemist should really get that BKB and maybe even just sell off the Shadow Blade. I mean, with Kunkka's gem and Dust isn't exactly expensive, so I feel like the Shadow Blade in this late game won't be as good as the BKB, as you know you've been saying for like the past 10 minutes. He really does need it because he does get stunned, he gets locked down, and he can't do much in those team fights, and he really is core.
So this next fight will pretty much determine it. If Noxious Gaming pull out on top in this next fight, they will be able to take racks and they'll be able to move in for the win, in my opinion, because Alchemist is just hidden too hard, and Lone Druid is there to back him up. Lone Druid's not dying in these engagements. He's sitting behind while his bear does all the damage. Alchemist, he's taking all the damage. He's dying as well, but recently he's just not dying. Well, he's just doing too much damage for BoysBoys to handle at the moment. They haven't been getting effective chain stuns on him anymore, and he's just doing more than enough to finish off BoysBoys. And BoysBoys have been doing a little bit of questionable plays. You see the Spectre coming out, but Spectre's in a lot of trouble. Got to be lifted up. Alchemist is not going to turn around, and they're just going to run. They were afraid that there was rotation coming in from BoysBoys, and that's absolutely correct. They had Smoke Up, Hookshot coming in, but once again, he's alone. So we're going to see the Mystic Flare possibly come out. It's going to be popped outside those cokes. Mystic Flare's being popped onto the Shadow Demon. Not doing too much damage, not going to do too much. Boat comes in, hits on no one. Lasso being popped onto Spectre. Spectre's being thrown out of the fight. Spectre does have that Spectral guy to come back in. Rubik's taking a full spot. Great Alchemist stun onto 3, and then there's 3 dead. Fantastic stun coming out by the Alchemist, and they're going to find all those pickoffs. We will see Xalorith Mage almost falling in the backlines, not going to be able to do too much, and now the Spectre's out of there. So it's a 1v3, great fight by Noxious Gaming, great stun by the Alchemist to hit on those three, and they were able to find all those kills.
The blinding light from Keeper actually ended up causing the miss on that boat. It pushed him out of the cogs. That was just bad luck there. Unfortunate blinding light, but oh well, what can you do? I don't feel like it would have changed too much. But yeah, there's no way that BoysBoys can really defend this top lane.
Yeah, they don't have... They've got buyback on the Spectre, but no one else. So they're going to lose this top tower. They're going to lose the racks. They might even rotate in and fight for it while this skunk is still down. But they should definitely get these racks, and they're going to even up the racks. If we do look at the gold graph, there's 12k in favour of Noxious Gaming, and over 15k of XP. And that's just been the story of the game so far. BoysBoys hanging in there, but Noxious Gaming just continuing to hold that lead and fighting back and just keep pushing it, trying to snowball their victory.
Yeah, I actually want to talk about Alchemist has actually got Boots of Travel and Phase Boots, and he's had this for like the past 3-ish minutes. I'm not sure why he's keeping both. I feel like he should sell one of them for sure.
Oh wow, he's got 2 boots.
Pick up that BKB!
Yeah, that's a little bit unusual. He wants those phase boots to be able to run through everything, but that BKB is much more important than your phase boots. It'll seal the deal.
He has the Shadow Blade if he wants to run through everything.
So this is very unusual. He's looking at buying something. He picks up. He's Savage. Oh, not Savage. He's Abyssal. So he will have that Abyssal, but still no BKB. But at the moment, I don't think this is going to be too much of an issue. They're quite far ahead. They unfortunately didn't get those racks, but they've been winning these engagements. BoysBoys need a next to perfect engagement with Noxious making basically all the wrong moves they possibly can. BoysBoys need to find a pick-off, but the way things have gone, Noxious have been very close, sitting in proximity of each other, and they haven't been doing much. Roshan is now up, so we might see another fight at Roshan. There's currently no vision on the map for either side around the Roshan pit, so we could see a very interesting initiation, or maybe a sneaky Roshan on the side of BoysBoys if they can get some wards up, which Shadow Demon does have but currently hasn't placed. We do see ping coming out by the Coddle, and now the Xalorith Mage, so they both know Roshan's up, so look to see the next fight happen around the Roshan pit.
Yeah, it looks like BoysBoys just rotating around, doing a little bit of scouting it seems. Oh, there's the smoke from Noxious.
Who needs that
the Alchemist is not with them.
Who needs that Alchemist at the moment? Of course they do. If they get a great pick off by BoysBoys, this can be the turnaround. We've got the Firefly coming up under the smoke. They're going to jump in. He's going to grab one of them. Who's he going to grab? He's not grabbing anyone yet. He's going to be disrupted. So that's not a grab. But the Xalorith Mage and that Lone Druid doing more than enough to kill off that Clockwork instantly. And who needs that Alchemist? Bird's going to come in, hit on one. Stun's coming to find out. Lasso onto that Conquer, being thrown onto the upground. He's got nowhere to go. He's trapped. Going to flame break him, do a few more hits. And that Coddle, speaking of so, is also stuck on the top of the hill. Rubik does fall in the backline to that Spectre, but Coddle's going to get out just. So they're not going to be able to get that stun off. They're going to get a Roshan, and I think this possibly could be game for BoysBoys with this token going to the Lone Druid.
I agree. Actually, there was a boat coming out from a Rubik, which actually ended up picking off a hero there. And Alchemist used those boots of travels to teleport onto the Druid's bear, basically pulling him directly into the middle of the fight and pick off a few heroes. He picks off the Spectre right there, and now he's going to chase the Shadow Demon. They should be able to kill him, no problem.
So that's the final few heroes of BoysBoys that could do anything, and now all they need to do is push in mid. Alchemist is already doing it. He's going to probably rotate bottom, push in this tower against a Coddle and a Clockwork. He's already shown more than enough. He can take them both on. Clockwork's going to miss on that hook shot. He's got the Aghanim Scepter, so he'll be up in a few seconds anyway. But we do see the courier being killed off by those creeps. Sneaky little buggers in the backline killing off those creeps. So that gold's going to help out the BoysBoys a little bit more, and they can take whatever they can. Alchemist is in a load of trouble. He doesn't have enough mana. He might lose his Aegis here. Got a few more hits. Battery's not doing a lot. The Satanic being popped. Healing Alchemist up so high now, but this is what happens when you don't have the BKB. They can still fight you back. The Aegis has been popped. There's still no support by Noxious Gaming. They're still going to be looking for it. Boat comes finding it. It does hit, but they don't have any revelation on him. So he's going to keep running. So the Shadow Blade is paying off to not your delight, so to speak. So he's going to get out of the...
I still think he should have sold it and grabbed the BKP. Could have killed all of them there.
Yeah. So that's an Aegis being popped, and BoysBoys are still holding in by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, actually, the Abyssal Blade that he picked up, it's a very nice. It brings him a little bit more damage, and of course the stun, which breaks through BKB. However, I don't feel like he really needed it. Generally, you grab the Abyssal when you have a carry on the opposite team with a BKB, and if you're going to go toe to toe, you sort of would prefer the stun. But I mean, none of the other heroes are really going toe to toe with the Alchemist. He's basically able to go toe to toe with Spectre for sure, and same with the Kunkka. So I still feel like he should have picked up that BKB. He certainly would have not lost that Aegis there if he did. And he'd just be a lot better in those team fights. I can't believe he hasn't got it yet.
He's got 6.8k. What's he looking at now? He's picking up another big item. He doesn't care about this BKB. I want to see a Divine. Come on, pull out that Divine. You know you want to. What's he looking for? He's picking up an MKB. He's got those 2 javelins on the courier. Or a courier, I should say. They bought a new courier. They didn't care about waiting for the old one to respawn. So he's got an MKB coming to him now. Or maybe not. He doesn't have the item rune for it. He forgot to pick up...
He'll just buy it with the courier.
Yeah, he forgot to pick up that Demon's Edge. So he's going to just go pull that up now. He's going to have an MKB up. So a lot more damage coming out on the side of the Alchemist. And BoysBoys, they're looking at trying to push this in. They see the Rubik up top, but Rubik's just got to TP back in. Rubik's doing a little bit of aggressive warding, trying to get any vision they can on the map of where BoysBoys is currently situated. However, BoysBoys are playing it safe, trying to give that element of surprise. And if they didn't get this top racks at the start of the game, the game would be over for them. So they did push in hard, push in early, and they got that racks from the fantastic fight that they did play. They will now smoke up, and they're looking for something. I don't know if they can go toe to toe here. They need to find a pick off, but Noxious is not leaving any openings for that. We do see the ping coming out by the Lone Druid, so they are presuming where they are, and they're absolutely correct.
Yeah, that Rax has certainly kept them in the game. If it wasn't for that Rax, Noxious would have pushed out. They would not have backed off several times as they already have. They would not have been playing so passively, as they do obviously fear those mega creeps pushing in and doing some of the damage to their tier 4 towers. It really has basically kept BoysBoys in the game for this long. I feel like they still have a chance, but it's very, very small at the moment. Alchemist and even the Lone Druid now, they're just getting way out of hand.
I almost feel as if BoysBoys should try and fake and hide and do a base race once that top tower pushes in, because that top tower is constantly being pushed in. And I think BoysBoys' best option at the moment is to push in, and we do see a DC coming out on the side of the clockwork, so we will see a pause. But I do agree with you. It's just I don't think they can take a one-on-one fight anymore. They need to find a pick-off. They can find a pick-off and force a buyback, or even catch them without a buyback, which neither side currently has situated on them. If they need to try and base race this, or find a pick-off. If they can't do either of them, they can't take these team engagements. The burst damage that they have on the Torrent, the Boat, the Illuminate, the Rockets, any kind of burst magic damage they have is now over. It's 50 minutes into the game, they can't do it anymore. They need all the damage coming out by this Kunkka and by the Spectre. Spectre has the defensive item with the heart, it's got a Manta going up and on him, it's got a Diffusal. That's it. Drums doesn't help you for that offensive fighting capabilities. Kunkka's got a Shadow Blade, Daedalus, picking up that Ogre Club and most likely be turning that into big AB. So BoysBoys, because of the defensive builds, they don't have the damage to man fight Noxious at the moment. So I feel as if the little bit of item choices going this late in the game is not the way BoysBoys want to go, and they're going to probably lose it due to those item choices.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit... I would have liked to see a Hex on one of the supports or something, because as we've been saying for so long now, Alchemist does not have a BKB. Hex him, disable him, keep him down, as he's really doing most of the damage from Noxious Gaming. We do see that Lone Druid's Bear actually has a crap ton of items himself. Like it's got the Crystallis now, which I'm assuming he'll turn it into the Daedalus. Monkey King Bar, Skull Basher, Maelstrom. That Bear is very stacked in terms of items as well. but I feel like that BoysBoys do need a little bit more of that single target disable. With things like maybe don't even need the hex. Get a Yules, keep Alchemist out of the fight for long enough, pick off the other heroes, and then engage on him when he's by himself, because he can't handle a whole team by himself. Not yet, anyway.
And yeah, it's just I can't see too much of what BoysBoys can do here. I mean, the Coddle, I reckon he could have, like, instead of going for that 4 stuff, picked up an ultimate orb and start working, and even forget the Ghost Scepter. He would have probably 2/3 of his scepter, or even a Yule scepter. He would have had basically either one of those 2 items, and they could have given a little bit more farm, either throw him into one of the lands, pick up those few extra creeps, or keep him in the jungle, and they would have had enough to pick up a scythe on this Coddle, except they went for the 4 stuff, which isn't quite necessary. I mean, you have a Batrider. If you accidentally force Batrider, if you force stuff anyone he's lassoed to, it still doesn't break the tether. So I don't quite like this 4 stuff being picked up on this Keeper of the Light. So as you said, it would have been better picking up that Scythe or that Yule Scepter.
Yeah, they really do lack that disable. And it's really showing. I mean, they're doing relatively well if they can get a good engagement with like the boat and things like that. But without I feel like they're relying a lot on that, and it's not consistent enough to really give them the lead. I mean, they got the racks simply because of that amazing engagement they had in top, and that was, obviously with the combination of boat and whatnot. But when you can't hit that every time, your team basically falls apart. And if you can't disable heroes like Alchemist and Lone Druid, I mean, Spectre does great, but against those two, not that great. Like, you really need something to keep those heroes down.
And speaking of Scythe, we have a Scythe on that Batrider. So I don't know when he picked it up, but it must have just been recently. So now he does it say in the chat? No, I can't see it anywhere in the chat. But he does have that Scythe picked up on him, and that's just going to be more lockdown on either the Conqueror or the Spectre. So it's just even more trouble BoysBoys are going to be in. They can't fight this. They need to go for that racks. They need to base trade. Even though Noxious do have that more damage, they have to hopefully get lucky and then try and base race this. I do not believe under any circumstance they can take it. Maybe if this game draws out long enough, they pick up a Roshan, they can possibly continue fighting this. But this is just looking very grim for BoysBoys at the moment.
Yeah. Even if they decide to go for something such as a Yules or a Vice, Clockwork, Shadow Demon, and Keeper of Light have basically no money.
And
like, they're gonna have it for a while, like at least for the next 5 minutes, which is too long. I feel like Noxious can dish out a ton of damage within those 5 minutes.
we might have to. We still got the disconnection from the Clockwork, and they're talking about resuming it when that Clockwork's down, because they presume that Clockwork usually always DCs for about 5 minutes. So hopefully this Clockwork comes back in the game. I do not want to see the game end like this. It would be a little bit disappointing after the great game we've had so far. So hopefully we can get the best, and IV comes straight back in.
Yeah. I mean, it really has been quite an action-packed game, and back and forth for quite a while as well. BoysBoys are still very much in this. They are certainly behind, there is no doubt about that. I mean, the gold lead is almost 20k, and the experience is, well, it's over 20k, and at one point it looked like it was even closer to 25. But BoysBoys really need some good engagements. And I feel like, as you were saying, that base race is a potential for them to win this game. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, especially with Alchemist. He does have that boots of travel, so he can pretty much teleport anywhere on the map whenever he wants. But BoysBoys need something that isn't... If they can maybe pick off Alchemist by himself, get a smoke gank or something going. He's been roaming quite alone. Like, even now, he looks like he's going towards those ancients. But yeah, if they can maybe pick off the Alchemist, they can certainly try to push for another Rax potentially, or just edge themselves a little bit back into the game.
But I just feel as if this Alchemist will go into that camp, clear it up before BoysBoys can get any form of group up to go pick him off, and then Alchemist will have his buyback. He doesn't need to buy anything else. He's 6 slotted. He can replace that Shadow Blade for a BKB. Hint, hint, Kjan. But he'll have his buyback ready if he does get at least one of these giant mud golems.
Yeah, I'm not saying that BoysBoys will be able to pick him up here. I mean, he kills things so quickly that by the time they realize he's even there, the Ancient will be dead. But they should try to do something. I don't think continuous farm is going to be enough. I mean, the supports don't really have the items to really help out much in it. Like the Ghost Scepters, I feel like they're doing enough. Particularly when you have someone like Skyrife who can do a ton of magic damage anyway. So I really I don't know. It's gonna be tough for BoysBoys. They really need to pull something out of the hat to get themselves back in.
I would almost like to see either Spectre or definitely this Conquer try and go for this Divine Rapier, because one of their only last-ditch efforts. And we're going to see it unpause here. Clockwork hasn't been able to resume back again. They don't know what's happened to him. So we'll see resume, and this is not looking good for BoysBoys. They're going to be put even being stomped further into the ground with that Clockwork now out of the action. So hopefully they can micro him well, and we do see a good engagement. So I wonder who will be microing him around. It looks to be this Coddle. So Super John going to be going all Chen on this Clockwork.
Yeah, this should be. I feel like Noxious are going to attempt for a push here, especially with this, especially since the 4v5 situation.
The Noxious will look into do a little bit. Should have just revealed that they do have a ward on this hill. So BoysBoys will probably be a bit more careful in their first. They're not too sure where there's any other wards being potentially placed by Noxious Gaming. So Noxious is just going to farm up a bit more. I don't feel as if they need to farm anymore. They've got Alchemist 6 slot. You can just push in and win this game right now if you want to. I mean, the top lane's going to keep pushing in, and it's just going to keep forcing you back. All you have to do is just push that lane up in the middle, and you can basically secure the win for yourselves, which now they are going to try to do.
Yeah, I mean, the farm for Noxious is absolutely insane. They really, as you said, they don't really need to farm anymore. I mean, basically the only heroes that need farm are their supports, and they've got some decent items already. Really, I mean, if you want, I guess you could get even more items on the Lone Druid himself and not the bear.
We see a TP back from this
Replace
Alchemist.
that
He's
Iron
just picked
Patch
up
or
his
something.
AC. He's going to be looking to find this Conquer. He auto-attacks. He uses that Vessel, and then crunch. There goes the Conquer. 4 hits. We got a dead Conquer. And if this doesn't say push in and win it now, then I don't know what does. I mean, Conquer does have that buyback, but if he uses that buyback now, he can't use it later. And after that pick off, you can see that Alchemist has no one to pretty much fight him. He can take anyone he wants. And we might see a pick off in the Spat Rider in mid lane. We got a nice sheep coming out on top of Spectre. Spectre can't do anything. He does go up the hill. Great blink away. It's still diffusal. Bear's coming in. Entangle comes off on first hit. The Flare not doing too much damage, and now Spectre's got a Haunt, maybe jump away. He's been entangled and bashed. He's been hit by those procs. Alchemist picks off the Shadow Demon in the backline. Alchemist find all those kills. Spectre does find a kill and jump away and kill off that Bat Rider. And now he's looking towards his Rubik, finds 2 kills, and now this Bear's after him. Can he get that Spectral Guys off? It's on cooldown for 6 seconds, so we might see a death. 1 entangle, we got a bash instead, and we're going to see a death. We got a great hook coming in, saving Spectre's life. Great play by this Clockwork. Great macro by whoever's currently dead. Spectre's going to run for his life. Alchemist is still looking for it. He knows if he can find the Spectre, he can win this game. He's going to Shadow Blade up. He's chasing it down. Great. Manta being popped. They can see him. He burns all his mana, and now he's out of there. So that's a...
Clockwork was...
Sorry, you go?
Go ahead.
Feel
I
free.
was just gonna say, Clockwork was able to teleport out there, and he was up against a Spirit Bear who has Entangle and he has the stun. I can't believe that he was not stunned within that 2 seconds. Well played there by whoever's controlling the Clockwork.
Very nice playing that Clockwork to be able to get there. I absolutely did not think he would be able to get out of there. I mean, you're stuck in there with that bear. That's That poor RNG. His wizard is just screaming at Ice Frog right now. Where's my procs? Not happy.
Hey, honestly, if I was him, I wouldn't be complaining. He's hit a lot of first attack entangles as well, so...
Yeah, but that was very great play by whoever was using that clockwork. He jumped in there and saved that Spectre's life. If that Spectre went down, that... I believe, yeah, Spectre didn't have buyback then, and Spectre would have died. There would have been probably game. He would have been on his death timer for level 24, so about 85 seconds, and that could have been very bad for BoysBoys. But once again, BoysBoys showing why they're number 2 on the Cybergamer Ladder, showing that they can keep in here and keep fighting to the very end.
Yeah, they're doing very well to hold up. I mean, especially as 4 vs 5 and that clockwork is being microed very, very well, if I may say so. That was an excellent play. Whoever was controlling it, I have no idea. Actually, we see Alchemist moving in. It looks like he wants to kill the skill on the Spectre.
He turns towards the
Oh no!
Oh, Batrider's coming in though. Sheep going up. That's what's the value importance. Sheep lasso, and now we've got a dead Spectre. She nothing to do, and that's the value of sheep. They had that sheep on that Batrider, and they found that kill. If BoysBoys had their sheep on one of their heroes and found a pick off on Alchemist like that, the game could be completely different. And that just shows you the items.
Yeah, definitely agree. That excellent abyssal stun there from the Alchemist. It's not gonna matter. That Hex was certainly enough to bring down the Spectre. And it looks like this is gonna be a Rax for Noxious Gaming.
And potentially tier 4. Spectre doesn't have buyback because you would think they would have been able to buyback, but they've done a lot of damage to this Alchemist. Wow, that's a little bit crazy that they did. Must have been a very lucky crit coming on side of Ryland on that plan on that Conquer.
I think he had the Soul Cash on him as well, and the boat hit. So yeah, and crazy amount of damage. Took off like half his health. What, 40%?
But look at it, just popping
Around
straight
there,
back up to full. Who cares? He's got his
Yeah,
synthetic.
with this attack.
So there's some cheese on the ground. Of course that bear. He's gonna go for double cheese. He sold one of his items because he thought cheese takes up a slot individually. So he's just gonna lose an item there on his main character. I'm not sure if it was a branch or something more important, but he will lose an item.
I'm not sure what it was. Nonetheless, I'm sure he won't care. He's got double cheese now and an Aegis.
But that is a good thing for Spectre. He will come alive, and they will be surviving another day. Still with Clockwork nowhere in sight, which is still unfortunate, but seems BoysBoys can still hold off with their skill nevertheless.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised that they managed to hold off that Rax. Yeah, they're really holding on here. Actually, we see Heaven's Albert picked up now by the Lone Druid.
That's even more shut down for BoysBoys. I mean, this is almost robbing salt into the wound.
Yeah, actually, Spectre's going for that butterfly, and I feel like that's a pretty big mistake considering the MKBs, the 2 MKBs on the map already. One on Alchemist and one on the Spirit Bear.
I absolutely agree with you there. That butterfly, sure you're going to get those extra attacks off, but you got no evasion. They have their MKBs up. They've had them for the last 30 minutes. You should have noticed this if you've been watching. But then again, I don't know what else much more the Spectre can do. Other than maybe a Divine Rapier to try and turn this around. But it's... This butterfly, yeah, I agree. It's not a good pickup. But then again, I can't see too much else what he can do in this situation.
Yeah, the Spectre's in a very tight spot. I mean, I guess you could have gone for maybe a little bit more damage output. Get that, as you said, get the Divine Rapier and just use Haunt, kill off all the supports on the map without even having to jump in. But who knows? I mean, I still feel like regardless, the Spectre, the butterfly was certainly a mistake. She could have gone for something like Daedalus. Hold on, here's an initiation here on the Spectre from Alchemist.
So Spectre does a very wrong play here. Alchemist turns around and finds that kill. Spectre thought they could take it, and now the bottom lane, they're losing Rax. They've lost Tower. Now they're going to lose their supports, and this is game. Noxious Gaming have taken BoysBoys down a peg. Noxious Gaming will be moving into the second position on the Cybergaming Ladder. BoysBoys will be moving down to their third position. Boat coming flying in. Does
Yeah.
pick off that Xalorith mage, so he does pick up a kill in the end, but the GG's well played do come out.
Yep. Certainly does, and very well played there by Noxious Gaming. A very long game, almost 60-minute game there. I'm gonna hit that GG button. Very well played by them. Congratulations on their second spot. That actually continues their win streak as well. I believe they're on a 5-win streak now.
So Noxious Gaming playing fantastic. And thank you for joining me on this cast. It's been definitely a pleasure having you.
You too, thank you very much. I would just like to say, for anyone out there watching, my stream is dedicated to supporting Child's Play, so if you can, please donate either via my channel page, you can donate directly through there, or visit the Child's Play website itself. Besides that, it's been a great pleasure casting, and we'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one.